Hello learners, welcome. So today we are going to have a demo session on 3dsmax and Vray. I am Anjana and I'll be taking you through this demo and I'll be giving you a brief introduction about what you'll be learning within this course. Okay. So before starting with 3dsmax and Vray, I just wanted to give you a brief discussion about how your course pattern will be, what you'll be learning within this course, what is going to be the duration of course and all those things. So let me just share my screen. Just give me a minute. So, so the course is going to be a combination of 3ds Max and V-Ray. So 4 weeks of 3ds Max and V-Ray course, out of which 2 weeks will be for 3ds Max and 1 week will be for V-Ray. And by the end of this course, that is towards the end of this course, you'll have the opportunity to apply everything you have learned in the final project. You will model and render your very own scene from start to finish. So this project will give you the hands-on experience needed to create a full 3D visualization, whether it's an interior design, an exterior building, or even a product render. So that is what we'll be doing it on the 4th week of your course, that is during your project classes. And every day you'll be having your classes from Monday to Saturday from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. And on completion of your course, you'll be awarded with your certificates. Okay. So, very excited to start with this demo. Let's start by talking about 3ds Max. Okay, it's one of the most widely used 3D modeling and animation software programs, especially in fields like architecture, game design, and product visualization. So, in this course, we'll learn how to navigate the interface, use tools to create 3D models, and modify them into more complex and realistic designs. Okay. So let me just share my 3ds Max screen. I'll give you a brief walkthrough about how your 3ds Max interface will be. So what we'll be learning within this software. Okay. So over here, this is going to be the main homepage of your 3ds Max, where onto the very top where you'll be able to see a file, edit, tools, group, views, all these things. So this is called as your menu bar. This is called as your menu bar. And just below your menu bar, you'll be having a list of options over here, which you call it as, I'll just annotate it. So this is called as your menu bar, and just below your menu bar, you'll have a set of options which is called as your modifying toolbar, where you will be having the basic modification tools like move, rotate, mirror, copy, snap, angle snap, and all those icons. And just below that, you will be having a list of icons. So these icons will be visible if you have installed your V-Ray inside your 3ds Max. Okay, so all these options are basically for your V-Ray. And then just below that, you'll have a set of icons. This is for advanced modification, which we'll be learning during our course. And this is going to be the main homepage of your 3ds Max. So these are mainly called as viewports, where you'll be having your top viewport, front viewport, a left viewport, and perspective viewport. Viewports are nothing but the elevations of your model, the four different elevations of your model. And your perspective viewport will give you the 3D view of your model. Okay. And towards your extreme right, you will be having a box. This is called as your command panel. So onto your 3ds Max, we'll be able to make from very basic model to to extreme advanced model. Like parametric modelings can be created, animations can be done, everything can be done within this interface. So to choose the objects, like either it's going to be basic or advanced, we need a choice, right? So those choices you can find it over here from your command panel. So right over here we'll be having a category called as standard primitives. Okay, so when you just click on this, you'll have a list of options available. Onto the initial stage, we'll be starting it with a very basic tools, like on how to create very basic shapes. How does it work onto your 3ds Max? We'll learn them. And on further move, we'll be diving deep into the advanced modifications. So we'll be having from simple shapes to much complex shapes. We'll also have options to go ahead and develop your architecture models. We'll be having a different type of inbuilt staircases, which will make your work very, very simple. And also we'll have different kinds of inbuilt windows, and we'll have inbuilt doors, which we'll be discussing onto our sessions. And we'll also be learning about on how to develop how to create your very own furnitures, how to develop parametric modeling, how to develop an architecture modeling. So everything will be discussed during this course. And over here, let me just quickly show you on how fast our 3ds max will help us to develop things. And similarly, onto the very bottom of your screen, you will also have a set of numbers, and this is basically used for creating your animation, which we'll discuss more onto our during our V-Ray sessions. Okay. And right over here, let me just show you on how to develop a furniture very quickly. Okay. So say for example, if I wanted to make a sofa over here, so how can I make a sofa? Say for example, let me just choose this. I'll make a box over here. Okay. So I'll just hold, I'll make a copy of this. Okay. I'll make nearly multiple copy of this, and I'll click on OK over here. Okay. Let me just take this. I'll just select all these things. I'll make another copy of them. Okay. I'll make it okay over here. I'll hold this. I'll make another copy of them. I'll place it right over here. Okay. And I'll just orbit them. Okay, so let me just go to the respective views. I can just toggle between multiple views to address them more clearly. And now you'll be able to see I have created a sofa. So you'll be able to develop your components very easily, very quickly, and you can just make so many things with the simple components that we have inside your V-Ray. Say for example, if I wanted to make some different kind of a table over here, well, I can easily make it with all these parametric options that I have, all these basic tools that I have. So I can just make a component like this, and let me go to my top view, and I'll be able to place a cylinder on top of this, so that now when you just turn it onto your 3D, you'll be able to see a table being created. So whatever material you want, whatever color you want, well, you can go ahead and develop them. So you'll be able to see a sofa being created, uh, a table being created. If I wanted to scale them as well, I'll be able to scale them, and I can just make it to as per my required size. So all these things you can just use, create a chandelier with the help of these components. So you'll be able to make n number of things within your 3ds max software. Similarly, if you wanted to make any parametric modeling, well, we'll be discussing about an advanced option called as editable poly, where making your wardrobes, kitchen cabinets, a curved wall, whatever you wanted to, well, you'll be able to easily make it with the help of your editable poly conditions. Say for example, if I'm having a component like this, okay, let me develop a box over here. Okay, and let me go ahead and add a modifier. Okay, and let me just give an angle to this. Okay, now if I just wanted to convert this into a parametric modeling, well, I'll be able to easily make it. Say for example, I'll just go to my modifier. I'll just choose this. Let me add a good number of segments. So I'll tell you about how to make everything in detail during your course. Okay. And now I just wanted to make a parametric modeling out of this. Say, for example, I just wanted to create a pattern along this model. So how will I be able to do that? See. So what we are supposed to do is, let me reduce my values over here. Okay. So now if I wanted to convert it into a parametric modeling, well, I'll right click on this. I'll click on convert to editable poly. Okay. And onto my editable poly condition, I'll be able to make advanced polygon techniques. Okay. Like advanced kind of modifications. So now what I'll be doing this, I'll be using this option from my editable poly, and I'll be working on this. Okay. So I'll just select this particular portion. Okay, I'll hit my polygon option and let me select this top portion over here. Okay, now what I will be doing is I'll just select this option over here called as inset, and I'll use my option called as by polygon. So how much of a value I just wanted to provide, well, I can go ahead and provide it over here. Okay, I'll hit my finish button. Now I'll just pick my element and I'll hit my delete button over here. I'll choose my element option. I'll select this entire element. I'll just deselect this top row over here. Go to my perspective view. Okay, so I'll be onto my polygon. I'll deselect all the top portions over here. I'll go to my perspective view and I'll give a component called as extrude over here. I'll make it as by polygon and let me just give an extrusion command over here. And I'll hit my finish button. Now you'll be able to see a parametric modeling being designed. So you'll be able to make all these kinds of parametric modeling very easily inside your 3ds Max. It'll hardly take you around 5 to 5 minutes is maximum time that I'm telling you. It'll hardly take you 2 minutes to go ahead and develop these kinds of parametric modeling. So we'll be learning even more advanced techniques on how to develop this parametric modeling into a better way. So these are the things that we'll be covering up in this course, and also on developing your architecture model. It'll be damn simple. Like we'll be having inbuilt components like staircase, doors, and windows. We'll be having nearly 6 to 7 types of windows. Whatever type of window you require, maybe a sliding window, fixed window, single door window, double door window, a ventilator, whatever you require, everything you'll be able to find it as an inbuilt option inside your 3ds Max. Say for example, if I wanted to develop a 3D model, so it'll be very easy for me to go ahead and make it. Maybe let me give a value over here, and I'll just give a value over here as well. Okay, so now let me quickly start working on this. I'll be able to easily develop my architecture models, like developing of your walls, placing of your doors, placing of your windows. Everything is going to be very, very simple. Now, when I just go to my perspective view, you'll be able to see my walls being developed. So these kinds of architecture models, it will hardly take you, if you're working with any kind of a project, whether it's going to be an interior modeling or exterior modeling, it'll take you not more than half an hour to develop any kind of models. So it's such a user friendly software, very easy to work with. When you start working on it and when you have a hands on practice with all these tools, it'll be very easy for you to go ahead and develop models. Okay, so whether you are a beginner or have some experience in 3D modeling, this course will take you step by step through the fundamentals and advanced techniques of creating stunning 3D visuals. Okay, so once we are done with our 3ds Max, obviously we need to go ahead and apply materials, texture. We need to bring them into reality, right? So for that, we'll be using the V-Ray part for rendering. So V-Ray is a very powerful rendering engine that will take your 3D scenes and turn them into a photorealistic images. So during your V-Ray course, you'll learn about how to use its lighting systems, how to tweak render settings. So whether it's going to be a low render setting or high render setting, on how to speed up your render, on how to bring a realistic effect to your render, we'll be discussing about all those things. So actually, when you come to your V-Ray part, so we onto your V-Ray, your lighting is going to be the major part. Lighting is going to play a very major role when you start with your V-Ray. So we'll be having different types of lighting. If you wanted to set an environmental light, if we wanted to go ahead and enhance a scene more with a night light render or a daylight render, everything you'll be able to make it into your V-Ray. I'll also show you some of the students' work done, and that will be really helpful for you to know how the V-Ray render works. And also, once we have modeled and once we are set for rendering, we'll be learning on how to speed up your renders, how an animation works. So, say for example, let's consider a 3D room over here. So a living room, a basic living room with all the textures and lightings being placed. So these are artificial lightings that we have given that is basically used for your night renders, and for daylight renders we'll be setting up with environmental lighting. So we'll be able to take walkthroughs and animations. Say for example, if I wanted to create a walkthrough of this, well, I'll also be able to create a walkthrough. So let me just tell it everything over here. So if I just wanted to make a walkthrough of this, well, I will also be able to take a walkthrough. See, and we'll also be learning on how to render these walkthroughs, how to do a low render setup, how to do a high render setup, how to make realistic animation visualizations. We'll be learning about all those things during your V-Ray course. And some of the students render that we have from the previous batches, well, I'll show you. Just a second. Well, these are some of the students' works that was done previously using your 3ds Max and V-Ray. So we'll be learning about how to create these kinds of parametric modelings, how to do all these kinds of renderings. So interior renders, exterior renders, and how to do this interior modeling and exterior modeling. So these are the exterior modeling done using your 3ds Max software, and these are renders done using your V-Ray. So we'll be learning about product renders, interior scene renders, exterior scene renders. So we'll be learning about how to give a artificial, that is a night light effect, and the same thing we'll be learning on how to make a daylight effect of the same work. So we'll be learning about all those things, and also we'll be learning most importantly, we'll be learning about how to go ahead and make your VR 360 renders onto your V-Ray sessions. So how to develop a VR 360 render, we'll be learning about all those things. And transition renders, how to go ahead and create a transition render. So we'll also be learning about how to create those kinds of animations. So these are the things that you'll be learning during your V-Ray course. So I'll show you an examples of VR 360 as well. So these are some of the interior renders that we have taken. So a kind of a realistic renders. If you just have a look into your textures, it'll be very realistic. As if we have taken a picture of an original house, it would be that realistic. So we'll be learning about how to make all these kinds of stunning realistic effects. The same thing during your night effect and depth of field. So how to dim your backgrounds, how to blur your backgrounds, and how to highlight a few products. The central product that you wanted to highlight. So this is how you'll be taking a panoramic rendering, which will be using it inside your VR 360-degree renders. I'll show you how a VR 360 works. And similarly, these are your transition renders that we have. So either you can use your VR 360 render to show the scene of an entire house, or you will be able to make these kinds of animations taking a part by part of your house, and we'll be combining them into a form of a video with the help of Cavos browser. So we'll be using a Cavos player to go ahead and combine them into a form of a video. So we'll have inbuilt material options, everything inside your V-Ray. So you'll be able to make all these kinds of animations. And similarly, I'll show you how a VR 360-degree render works. So let me just share my screen. So we'll be using an external software called as GoPro VR Player, where we'll be able to make all these kinds of stunning visuals over here. So, so this is a panoramic rendering that we'll be taking it from your V-Ray. And onto your VR 360-degree renders, you'll be able to show the 360 degree of your room from floor to ceiling. You'll be able to show them completely on how this room is going to look like. So you can take a complete walkthrough of your house, or you can go ahead and make these kinds of renders. So you can show them from your ceiling design to your flooring design, and each corner of your room can be shown in detail with the help of this particular 360-degree rendering option. So we'll also be learning about all this onto your during your V-Ray course. So, by the end of this course, you will be definitely equipped with all these skills needed to create a photorealistic 3D models and renders. You will be able to take your work to the next level, whether you are designing for an architecture, product visualization, or animation. So, uh, that is all about your demo session for your 3ds Max and V-Ray. I'm very excited to get started, and I hope you are too. So, in case if you have any doubts, you can just DM us for a further inquiry. Okay. So, thank you so much.